It's true that David Schwartz once made a prediction that Bitcoin would become worthless. Could that even happen? Then Beyond Broke thinks that XRP will be worth $100 by the end of the year. So let's look into it. Mr. Poole stated that the idea of a sudden warning would start at the very least in December. Let's start. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. XRP is worth about $2.22. When I saw these guys, I thought, there's no way that could be true, right? This is something I believe I've never seen before. It's possible that I did and just forgot about it. But this is from David Wizard Schwartz, the man, the myth, the legend. He reacts to someone who said something about Bitcoin probably going to zero, and this is the message he sent back. Okay, let's start. Are you guys part of the XRP community? This is getting pretty interesting. December 4th, 2021. If Bitcoin goes to zero, it's a bit of a mess. Your best bet is to find someone who will pay you a penny for it, but you'll have a capital loss. There are other ways you could lose money, so I strongly suggest selling enough to cover your taxes as you go. Wow. I think someone asked him if there was a chance that Bitcoin would lose all of its value, right? What do you think about that? Do you think that will happen? David answered with the sweet, it will be a huge mess if Bitcoin really does go to zero, right? It's going to be bad for everyone. Okay. As an example, if you have a lot of money invested in Bitcoin, your net worth will probably go down, and then there are taxes. To be safe, he says, sell enough along the way as Bitcoin keeps going up so that if the damn thing does collapse, you can cover your taxes. Okay, so soon we'll be talking about the month and all that. Wait, no, don't worry about it. Adam Back just said that he has an order to buy 21 million Bitcoin at 2 cents, so it won't go to zero. That means it will never be zero. What a story. At the moment, I think that depends on the trade. Guys, is it going to really go to zero? That's really like... Now let's talk about the Phoenix, right? It would make sense, I guess, that the Phoenix is dying would make sense in a way, right? One as in death because of the picture of the BG 123 tower, okay? The castle scene and how the Phoenix is linked to Bitcoin. It makes sense that the flash goes down to zero at one point in time and then back up again right now. But again, these people have their limit orders in place just in case the scenario does come true and they're ready, right? I always say this is what you should do in these kinds of situations, but maybe not at 2 cents, that's crazy, maybe $50 right now. No, this isn't me saying this, it's someone else saying it. Bitcoin's fluctuation is a feature, not a bug. So Bitcoin is supposed to be volatile, right? For sure, it's a part of this asset class. Guys, it's not a bug. If volatility is built into the product, then let's talk about volatility, Michael Saylor, if that's what you want to do. Don't worry about these words now. Guys, I drew them years ago, but is it possible for Bitcoin to go down to zero? Okay, it turned out that there was a light. This is on the Bitcoin chart for Bad New Coin or BLX, right? In one point in time, it did actually crash or flash crash to a penny, and it shows the whole past of Bitcoin at once. Yeah, I know it's not true. I mean, it did happen once, so why not do it again? But if you look at it from the point of view of Fibonacci numbers, what is the best place for it to bottom out? For a long time, I've been telling you guys that if this possibility comes true, Bitcoin will either go to zero or almost zero. I've always said at least $3,000, right? I've always said that it's below this level. Do you see that? It's not that high. BTC could still go to the 702 though, right? The fans in BC level. He learned that a lot of rich people love going to the 702, guys, right? Then see if it could hold that level of support or resistance at $1.33. It stands to reason that Bitcoin will be a little higher if it pumps, right? Still, I believe the very least amount is going to be several $100s, right? Like less than 3,000, probably not too long from now, okay? Guys, it's clear that when it does happen, it won't go like this, right? No, it's going to happen exactly this way because Satoshi sold or something, right? You know what the rich will do though, right? Get as much as you can. That's exactly the plan I have, okay? They're going to turn it around and make it higher again. Now, you know what? If Bitcoin falls apart, what will happen to XRP? What does XRP have to do with this whole timeline? So this is how XRP might follow Bitcoin, right? I'm not sure for sure if Bitcoin will flash crash at that very second, I think. It would now that bots are running. You guys know that bots use methods that are linked to each other in terms of liquidity, like XRP and Bitcoin, right? Or any other type of asset, or I mean Bitcoin in this asset class. All of them are linked by wealth, okay? If Satoshi changes his XRP or Bitcoin to XRP, then XRP is no longer part of this timeline or scene. That's the only way it can stay alive. After everything is over though, XRP will separate from Satoshi if he doesn't go into it during the crash. Okay, so the decoupling takes place right after the crash, right after things settle down, when a new financial system is up and going. Now, let's say that XRP and Bitcoin actually fell apart right now. Where would XRP go? If we use Fibonacci to go from the bottom to the top, we can see that it could go higher, but for now, the 702 is pretty much at 2 cents and change. 161818 is worth 4 cents. What's interesting about this area? Check this out. Support is the word for it. XRP never came back to test this area again after we broke out of the building. That's where it should have been. It didn't happen. In other words, it's likely saved for a future progress, guys. Okay? It looks like the bottom will be right here. Okay? After that, it will never be seen again. Now, it's clear that XRP will never go down this much if this situation comes true. Okay? Never, never. Guys, there will be a flash crash. Okay? That's when you should buy. It's clear that we don't know if it's going to happen or not, right? These are just ideas we're putting together. We won't be caught off guard if it does happen. What's funny about this is that if XRP flash crashes, what do you think the least will be doing? It's clear that you, not me, will be selling. If I can, I'm going to buy it, right? If the markets aren't down. Now you can trade XRP exchange amounts. 2.1 to 2.5 billion XRP coins are held by the world's largest centralized exchanges. That's amusing. What do you think? Isn't it a little strange that if that happened and XRP flash crashed to about cents, the elites would buy it all up during the collapse, okay? The rich and powerful will buy up all the goods. In other words, you and I will never be able to buy XRP again before they do this. Guys, they do this. Turn the switch on and off. You will never be able to get a piece of the new financial order. I really do understand this whole timeline. That's what I think will happen at some point in the future. Now let's go back to David Short's tweet from December 4th. What's so interesting about this December 4th, 1/24? Things are going to get rough. A rough ride. This tweet came out in 2021. The tweet said this in 2021. On the same day, people were talking about Bitcoin going to zero. Isn't it a rough ride? Going up and down H. This is being said about December 4th, one day before Mr. Poole tweets it. Okay? He says to leave on December 3rd at 10 a.m. Take a look. December 3rd, evacuation drill. He then tweets this video. Guys, he tweets this video. It says in there, December 3rd, you must evacuate. What should you do? Nothing. There was nothing you could do, but at the end, XRP flashes. Do you see that? XRP will save us from whatever comes next. Guys, it's this terrible event. We know we haven't even reached the crash point yet. You guys know from Mr. Poole, the crash has to happen first, then the reverse, and finally the reset. Do you see? Are you all ready for tomorrow?